What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Face Mask Fantasy.
What's happening, everybody?
And we are 50 hours away from actual football being played. No preseason, actual football. Bills-Rams kickoff.
The real thing.
Yeah, man. 8:20 kickoff on Thursday, so I cannot wait for that.
Super pumped. Super excited.
We're starting out the stream with a bang, y'all. We got 2 members that joined while the stream was scheduled. So welcome to Crumply Heads. Welcome to Fortune.
Yeah,
much appreciated for joining. Absolutely. Yeah, man, this is fun. The season is ramping up. This is what it is. But Nemo, what's happening?
Yeah, this is awesome. And I know everybody's as excited about football as we are. Just as a quick aside, this will be a shorter stream. Yep. We do have a hard stop of about 7:30 Eastern time. We have a draft that we have to do. Point blank, we have a draft that we have to take care of that kicks off at 8 o'clock Eastern.
We're both in it. Sam, who is also a member, is in it. Home league. Fortune, who just joined as a member, is in it. So there's a bunch of people that are going to be possibly paying attention to the stream that will have to dip out regardless. But 7:30 exit for us, but we will be back here for the members Wednesday, and for the last public Thursday stream, we will be having our last public Thursday stream. After this week's Thursday stream, those Thursday streams will become members-only streams for the duration of the regular season. And for the duration of the regular season, we will have the regular Tuesday night stream, 6 p.m. EST, the Saturday night stream, 6 p.m. EST for start sit, and then the Sunday morning stream, which typically goes from 10 a.m. to kickoff, 3 hours to help you with your start sit issues. So, yeah.
Plenty of streams available for the general public during the regular season. However, if you would like to continue to get 5 days worth of streams from our Face Mask Fantasy YouTube channel, we do have a practice squad. That's the name of the membership level. Availability for anybody who's just interested in our Wednesday and Thursday members only streams. It's 99 cents a month. You get us on Wednesdays. Can be anything. Can be, waiver wire. Waiver wires typically have passed by that point, but not for every league. But we can still talk trades. We can still talk transactions. We can talk way too early start sits or just any general topics with the members. And then on Thursday, it's going to be a fun little, lead into each Thursday night game. We'll probably take you through maybe the first half of each game each Thursday. Again, from week 2 through week 17. Those will be the Thursday streams for members only. So you can have us in the general public for Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. If you'd like to continue to get a little extra as far as live streams from us throughout the season, just 99 cents a month gets you into the Wednesday and Thursday streams as well.
And those will be beneficial because you'll have a lot less competition for getting your questions answered, on Saturday night and Sunday morning. Even just last year, before we had the accumulation of subscribers and members that we have right now, I mean, it was tough to get through every single question by the 3-hour mark. And lots of times we weren't getting to everybody's question that was put in, at the last 30 minutes of the Saturday morning start sit stream. So, it might be beneficial to you guys to spend that 99 cents to get 2 extra streams a week with us to get our undivided attention for you guys. So just something to think about. But 2 days from football, man. I cannot wait.
I know you're fired up. I mean, your team is playing in the Thursday game.
Well, yeah, I mean, even if it wasn't, yes, it's an extra juice, absolutely. But even if it wasn't Bills Rams, even if it was, Giants Eagles or something like that, man, I'd still be fired up.
Oh yeah, because it's football.
Absolutely.
And I know we're all excited. Quarterback films, what's going on? So you're
quarterback films. So Rams are your team since 1998. All right.
That was those Kurt Warner teams. They were quite good back in the day. Nemo sent you an RAS link in the Discord, so maybe check that out at your leisure.
Yeah, you know what channel it was on? Do you know what?
It was in one of our members' channels. I think it was maybe the general channel.
All right.
I think it was. You might just have to scroll up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Or maybe it was Dynasty. It's one of those. It's one of them. Or no, it was the general one. It's the general one.
For a link?
Or it doesn't look like it was a link. It might have been just a screenshot, but I think the link is in the screenshot. Something to consider. Something to consider. While you check that out, Iron, what's going on? Good to see a few people in here already. He sent you a DM. All right, check your he slid into your DMs in Discord.
Right.
So check
all
those
right,
out.
let me check these out.
There you go. A little RAS action for you. Iron is asking about the Colts defense this season, and do we like them?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
They're honestly in the draft that I'm doing tonight with you, with Fortune, who just joined as a member. Shout out. The Colts,
Fortune?
The Colts are absolutely a target for me. They kind of fell off a little bit last year. They had a little bit of a dip last year, but they were still a sought-after defense. And I expect their defense to maybe turn it back around and again become a top 8 option in fantasy. Yeah, I really like the Colts defense this year. They
have talent at all 3 levels. Starting, of course, with it's Shaq Leonard now, right? He changed his name.
Yep.
It's starting with Shaq Leonard. They've got pieces in the secondary, and defenses are always buoyed by offenses that can support them. And the Colts have a good offense. They have a significant quarterback upgrade this year. They can play ball control when they need to with that offensive line and Jonathan Taylor running behind them. And it's a weak division. It's just on they're going to get 6 games, 5 for the purpose of the fantasy schedule, against 2 incredibly inferior opponents in the Texans and Jaguars, and then a team that is probably fair to argue took a step back this offseason in Tennessee. So, yes, Indianapolis should have some favorable matchups. They don't have a first place schedule, right? That belongs to the Titans as far as their division goes. Yeah. Like the Colts. Who do they start with? Who's their opening game? Oh, it's Houston. It's on the road in Houston.
There you go. Great opener.
Yeah, good opener. Always a little dicey to start on the road, but
if there's a road team you want to be starting off against, like it's Houston.
It's either Houston or Seattle, right? So that's a perfectly fine. That's a perfectly fine play for week 1, and then and then take it week by week. So, yeah, Colts should be just fine this year.
And Rojo, happy birthday, man. Enjoy Boston.
Rojo, everybody wish Rojo a happy birthday. I know
yes,
he was at Fenway over the weekend. Cool. That's cool. Catching a game at Fenway. Yeah. I used to be a bigger baseball fan than I am now, but I can appreciate stadium hopping, going to the ballparks, just seeing the ballparks. I'm officially one of those casual, like, I'm fine if I end up there at starting at the 3rd inning and leave by the 7th. But if I see the ballpark, like, hey, I ain't got a problem with that. It's fun. And, you're talking about one of the oldest ones. So
I feel like that's part of the experience of Boston. You got to go to one of the ballparks or the ballpark.
Yep. Yeah. You got to go see the ballpark. Probably some good seafood options in and around the area.
Yeah, man, enjoy.
Sounds like a
good
time.
And happy birthday.
Like a good time.
Nemo wants to know what you mean by first place schedule.
Oh, yeah. So if you win your division, right? any division winner is, at least in their own conference, going to play the other division winners. So the Titans this year, I don't know who the AFC South plays. Do you know? What's the bill? Do you know what what division, other AFC division, the AFC East plays this year as a Bills fan?
I know we're playing the Chiefs again. So
because that's a first place, because the Buffalo and Kansas City both won the division, so that's like by default, right?
Yep.
So basically, the Titans are going to play the Chiefs, who won the division. They're going to play the Bengals, who won the division, right? Who won the AFC North. And they're going to play the Bills, who won the AFC East. I think that's week 2 Monday night. Let's go.
Yeah.
Week 2 is a Monday night doubleheader, not week 1 this year. Little interesting schedule tidbit, but week 2 is the Monday night football doubleheader. Titans Bills is one of them. That's what I mean. You're going to play a first place schedule in that you're going to play the other division winners in your conference. So the Colts are going to play every team that came in second place in their respective division. So that's probably the Patriots. Was it the Steelers? It was Pittsburgh for the AFC North. And then in the AFC West, it was the Raiders because they made the playoffs over the Chargers. This is how much of a dork I am. I just know random schedule tidbits off the top of my head.
It's good. It's good.
So that's what a first place schedule means. You have to play the other division winners in your conference from the prior season. So by nature, on paper, it's a more difficult schedule for Tennessee than it is for Indianapolis.
But yeah, the bottom line is, for me, I really like the Colts this year. If I miss out on the Colts, the 49ers are an option. The Browns are an option. Not one of those top tier options, but if I miss out on them, which I most likely will, because that's kind of how I play the fantasy defense game, I usually go for the second tier, third tier options and try to find the best option out of those options. And the Colts are right there, the Browns are there, the 49ers are there. So those are 3 options that I'm looking at. And
I have one. Sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it.
I had one more thing about the first place schedule. With that 18th game now, where you play a 5th non-conference opponent, that is also the division winner from that division. So there's at a minimum 5 first place teams that a division winner has on their schedule. I
just wanted to speak a little bit on this RAS chart situation that Nemo sent me. I mean, not everybody else can see this chart. I guess I can post the link in so y'all can see it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it illustrates exactly what I've been talking about all off season. It illustrates why I'm not a huge fan of Isaiah Likely. It illustrates why I'm a huge fan of Jelani Woods. It illustrates why, to a slightly lesser extent, I was also high on Charlie Kolar and Daniel Bellinger. High RAS scores combined with good size is basically that's my tight end strategy. Go after high RAS score having tight ends with good size. Could I go after a Greg Dulcich, a Trey McBride, Grant Calcaterra? Yes, they have the requisite athleticism. Do they have the requisite size? Not so much. So those are guys that, typically have a ceiling of right around top 12. Low end tier 1, TE1 tight ends. But if we're talking about perennial top 3 options, top 5 options, it's, to me, in this year's draft class, it's either Jelani Woods, Charlie Kolar, and Daniel Bellinger.
The Bellinger call is looking spectacular right now, too. Ricky Seals-Jones out for the season. Bellinger, I don't know that he's going to give you much this year, but he's going to be their starting tight end for better or worse. They're going to have to throw him to the Wolves by default, but to have been in on Bellinger. They let go of
Ricky Seals-Jones, right? They let go of him.
Oh, did they?
Injury settlement.
I thought he got hurt. Oh, injury settlement,
yeah.
So they waived him. Okay, Got it. Yeah, sure. Sounds about right. But Bellinger ascends to the top of the depth chart. I'm not even sure who else the Giants have behind him right now. But Bellinger is listed as the starter. I'll double check that. But to have been in on. Oh, he's listed as questionable, as it turns out. But
I think there was a concussion
Tanner
there.
Hudson. That sounds right.
In
that
a
sounds
preseason game, I think he left with a concussion, so he
That
should be
sounds
fine.
right.
He should be fine for week 1.
Making progress in the concussion protocol. This was 6 days ago, so sounds like he's on track to play week 1. Yeah, I mean, he's listed top of the depth chart with Tanner Hudson as the Giants tight end too.
Yeah, he should be able to beat Tanner Hudson out once he's.
It looks like he already has.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, it was a good call to be on Bellinger. Again, he's not on fan redraft radars, at least not yet. But if you were able to get him in Dynasty,
should be, because rookie tight ends don't fire unless you're Kyle Pitts or happen to fall into 9 or something touchdowns like Pat Fryermuth. It doesn't happen. Even first round tight ends like Eric Ebron and TJ Hawkinson don't fire in year 1. It is what it is.
I mean, Travis Kelce didn't fire right away. I mean, you're talking about the GOATs didn't fire right away. But regardless, I mean, Bellinger's path to relevance was put on the fast track this year. So kudos to the call the call on that. Looking like a good long-term option in Dynasty already.
Yeah, so just wanted to address that because you said, Nemo, in your question on the Discord that I missed up until right now that you wanted to hear me talk about it a little bit on Tuesday. So there you go. Wanted to give you that. And, let's move on, man. Let's move on. Retrograde, what's happening, man? Worried about Godwin week 1 since he plays on Sunday night. Should I try to play it safe with Isaiah McKenzie, Pickens, or Jacoby Myers?
So I'm going to answer this like with a 2-part question or 2 parts.
My opinion would be, play it safe.
Play it safe with one of those guys.
Yeah.
So for me, those 3 names are enough of a tier break where if those are my options, I think I'm going to suck it up and play Godwin and hope for the best. We obviously have to wait. Now, if his status is like questionable, like all day Saturday or this week, he doesn't shed the non-contact jersey, maybe on Friday he gets in a limited session, right? And it's truly questionable, he's truly 50-50, play it safe. But if it's Thursday in 2 days from now, which is usually the key practice day, or even if he sheds the non-contact jersey, he gets in some type of limited work, he's running, he's cutting, he's doing all that stuff, I'm playing him and hoping for the best. But if it's like he's truly 50-50 to play, we don't feel great about, I would hold on McKenzie. Like let McKenzie go on Thursday. I would not play McKenzie. As much as I like McKenzie this year, because you have Godwin potentially healthy on Sunday, I'm going to let that one go because you have Pickens and Jacoby Myers as backups. I would wait. Try to play Godwin, but if the vibes as late as going up against the 1 o'clock slate are, we don't know, true 50-50, true question mark, then I would play Pickens. I like Jacoby Myers too, but the Patriots are in Miami this week, and for whatever reason, that has been not Achilles heel. What's the word?
No, it's been an Achilles heel. Like they haven't been able to beat Miami in Miami.
They struggle down there for whatever reason.
Going back to Tom Brady, it's weird.
Right.
It's not just a Mac Jones issue.
No, it's a Bill Belichick regime issue.
Right.
With New England. I think they flew down there today to try to get acclimated with the heat. So like they're already clear. Like I think Miami's, for whatever reason, that game is in the Patriots' heads for whatever reason.
And it's week 1, so there's just more added pressure, and the added pressure to do well in week 1 after all this bad press that's been going on about the Patriots. So yeah, I mean Pickens is high upside. He has the chance to score a touchdown. Jacoby Myers is. We know his woes with catching touchdowns.
He's a nice player.
He doesn't do it that often. So I would go with Pickens. He has the high upside. He has the 1 o'clock slate time. I think I would go with Pickens almost regardless of what happens. But yes, again, if you hear ahead of the week 1 slate that Godwin is going to be starting, you start Godwin.
You start Godwin.
But you wait as long as possible, and if you get bad news, then you play Pickens.
Yep. If it's 12:55 Eastern and Godwin and the latest is, even if it's like Godwin looks like on track to play but might only play half the snaps, whatever, we're getting that type of fire up Pickens. But if it's like Godwin practices Thursday, practices Friday, good to go for Sunday, I'm hoping for the best with Godwin. If he gives me 5 catches for 40 yards, so be it. At least I played my best player. And it's just week 1. If you lose, it's just week 1. Just keep an eye on practice reports up until Sunday. Let McKenzie go. Tough matchup on the road against the Rams. Let's wait and see what happens for the rest of this week as far as practice goes.
Absolutely. And Fortune, thanks again for joining as a member.
Yeah,
Where
man.
are you seeing Dameon Pierce valued in your drafts?
I'm going to equate valued to like where he's getting drafted.
I've seen him drafted in the 5th round.
I've seen 6th, 7th round.
I was doing a mock today. Saw him in the 5th, and it was a mock with real people. It wasn't one of
5th.
those automated ones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Someone's going to take him in the 5th round. I'm excited for Dameon Pierce. That's not a trigger I want to pull. Like, give me Rex Burkhead with my last pick instead.
I mean, he's listed as the unquestioned starter on their depth chart. They've done everything that would lead one to believe that you should be drafting him high. They let go of Marlon Mack. They put him on the practice squad. They let go of Stevie Scott earlier in the offseason. The only people behind him are 33-year-old Rex Burkhead.
32, but
32-year-old. I want to say 29-year-old Royce Freeman. Those are the only guys, and Dario Gumbawale, who's also 29. The writing is seemingly on the wall with Dameon Pierce. They're going to use it a lot.
Yep.
But they won't be in scoring position a ton. They're going to be behind in a lot of games, which means they're going to be throw first versus run first, and all that leads me to believe he's getting slightly overdrafted because of the situation around him, not necessarily the amount of touches that he's going to be given. I think he's going to be given a good amount of work. I don't know if those touches will end up being as valuable as we perceive them to be right now.
Yeah,
that's my issue with Dameon Pierce. 13,
14 carries for 70 yards is a damn good game. I don't want that even in my flex spot. That's a low end flex.
With 2 catches for 15 because the other catches went to Rex Burkhead.
Yeah. When they were trailing, and they put him in the game. Yeah. I like Pierce. I'm excited for Pierce. I'm happy for him. To your point about Mac, I think they already released him from the practice squad.
Ooh, yeah, they did. I saw that over the weekend. My bad.
So, like you said, the path is clear to Dameon Pierce as the guy on 1st and 2nd down. Maybe 3rd down opportunities too. Houston's I would think midseason is just going to be in evaluation mode.
Do you remember who their 1st and 2nd down hammer was last year and the year before?
Do I know what?
Do you remember who their 1st and 2nd down hammer was last year and the year before?
David Johnson.
No, last year it was Mark Ingram before he got.
Oh,
remember?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And he was terrible.
Yeah. It wasn't good.
And then he went over to the Saints and at least showed some juice and was like, all right, that's the Mark Ingram we remember. That's what we should remember for this season with respect to Dameon Pierce. Remember how bad a 32-year-old running back looked in comparison to the different teams that he spent time on. On the Texans, he was just straight up dog water.
I love
David Johnson too. Last year was like the lowest rated 1,000 yard rusher in fantasy 2 years ago that I think I've ever seen. He had 1,000 yards rushing in 17 games because it was before they changed it to 18 games, and he was outside of the top 24 running backs. He was a 1,000 yard rusher and was an RB3. That's kind of unheard of. Now, a lot of changes have been made since then, personnel-wise, coaching staff-wise, all that.
Mm-hmm.
But how much does that change? Can Dameon Pierce also run for 1,000 yards and be an RB3? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, he can. And I will say, to his credit, he's got much fresher legs than a 32-year-old broken down David Johnson and a 32-year-old soon to probably be done Mark Ingram, right? He's younger. He's got some more energy. He's got some more burst. He's got some more juice than those guys do at this point in their careers. So I'll give him that. That's just, you're plunging significant capital into Dameon Pierce when there are numerous proven guys going in that same range. I'm excited for Dameon Pierce.
I'd rather have Antonio Gibson. I'd rather have a bunch of wide receivers. I'd rather almost go tight end if I hadn't gotten a tight end yet, because right around there you can get George Kittle, you can get Darren Waller, depending on who you're drafting with. But yeah, I mean, if it's a choice between Dameon Pierce and Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Brandon Cooks,
Bateman,
Allen Robinson,
Amon-Ra, Elijah Moore, I want all those wide receivers.
Yes,
I want all those wide receivers.
Yeah.
So I hope he balls out. I do. I hope he balls out. It won't be on my team.
Most likely not on mine either. And I also hope he balls out too, because you love to see a 4th round pick, supersede his draft position. So, yeah.
Real quick, we see that the chat is filling up with lots of questions, and guys want our thoughts on different things. We promise we will get to everything. We just ask for a little bit of patience. We see you guys. We're happy that you guys are here.
Yeah, we got a couple of faces we haven't seen in a while. Eric Lanier was happening. Callum Roger was happening.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, man. Patty, what's happening, man? Good to see y'all back up in here.
Yeah. Donnell, I don't know if we've seen Donnell Brown before. I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome. We will get to all of you guys. We will get to everybody's questions and everybody's, if you guys want our thoughts on things, promise we'll get to y'all. We kind of do this kind of meticulously for anybody who is new or maybe returning and hasn't been with us for a while. So we will get to everybody. We promise.
And in the spirit of that, let's move on. Iron Never Lies. What's happening, man? Do you have any news to Jason about Jason Pierre-Paul? Is he already re-signed? I have him on a dynasty team I took over. Was not sure if I can drop him. I don't know if he's re-signed yet.
That's that IDP thing.
Yeah.
No, he's a free agent, and at 33 years of age, he could be like a mid-season signing for a Super Bowl contender. I wouldn't drop him, because he's that vet who's probably just waiting to see, okay, who's good and who's worth it to sign with before making a decision, week 1. I would not drop. Just have some patience. He'll probably latch on somewhere by week 8 or week 9. That's what happens with these guys who are vets.
Yeah, along the defensive line, you can kind of plug and play those guys late into the year. Yep. So he's absolutely a depth signing for a team a couple of weeks into the year, and you should hold on to him for sure.
Yep,
for sure. Elout, what's going on, man? You got your draft done? Hey, I hope it was a good one. Looks like you got it all out here. All right. Jalen Hurts, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, A.J. Brown, Marquise Brown, Pat Freiermuth, Antonio Gibson, James Cook, Darrell Henderson, Tony Pollard, George Pickens, Kadarius Toney, and Jalen Waddle. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good.
That
looks good
man.
to me.
Good job.
Wide receivers are deep. With A.J., with Waddle, with Hollywood.
Mixon,
the running backs are strong.
Gibson, Cook,
got
Henderson,
the Hurts A.J.
Pollard.
stack.
Yeah. Man.
I'd say you did pretty damn good. Nicely done. I don't know
if
what
there's
the
one
scoring
position I could say is a little bit weak, it's the tight end position. But I mean, you're not weak there. It's just you don't have a top 5 option, so you're not technically strong there. But this team can win. Freiermuth isn't bad. Good job. Nicely done. Nemo, have you heard anything on J.K. Dobbins? I think Thunder Thighs might start. Mike Davis.
What's Sleeper's latest thing on? He's Thunder Thighs now? Okay. I wasn't sure if that was A.J. Dillon or not. So, according to Sleeper, Dobbins has a chance to play week 1. This is a scenario where I can already say I'm treading with significant caution. Harbaugh said a couple weeks ago, basically, if Dobbins can go, great. If not, we have confidence in the guys that we have. They're playing the Jets. The Ravens are. I know it's a home game for the Jets, but the Ravens are in a different class than the Jets are. I don't expect this to be, if it's a competitive game, good job to the Jets, or maybe bad job by the Ravens. But honestly, I expect the Ravens to win this game somewhat handedly. I don't think they need J.K. Dobbins this week. He might be active as like an emergency running back. I have serious caution plugging him in. Mike Davis feels like, a great DFS play for anybody playing DFS. His salary is going to be dirt cheap, especially now while Dobbins' status is still unconfirmed. And I think he's going to be a decent plug and play for this week because, again, I expect the Ravens to be winning this game. I don't expect them to mix Dobbins in late in let's say it's the fourth quarter and the Ravens have, at least a touchdown advantage or maybe a 10-point advantage. I think they're going to mix, Mike Davis in. Who else did they sign?
Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake. They'll mix him in.
That's the only thing that signals to me that you probably shouldn't be playing J.K. Dobbins week 1.
I would not play Dobbins this week. If we get miraculous update, like practice is in full on Friday, looks great, looks good to go, Harbaugh all but says, yeah, he's our starter, he's our guy this week, then sure, the tune changes. But right now, I would be pivoting off of J.K. Dobbins for week 1.
And Nick threw out a lot of analysis in there. Again, all I need to know is that they went out and paid money to Kenyon Drake to come in and solidify their running back room when they already had J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Mike Davis. Mm-hmm. And yes, some of those names aren't completely healthy, but still, you went out and signed a legitimate former RB1 a week before the draft. Or a week before the start of the season. So what do you think I should be thinking? Yes, I'm not playing J.K. Dobbins until he is firmly shown to be the RB1 in that room. And I think that happens, week 2, week 3, but I'm not going to be relying on that week 1.
Yep.
And Patty, good to have you back in here, man. It's been a minute. Hope your summer was a good one. Hope your off season was well spent. Week 1, PPR, pick 1: Juju, Penny, Lazard, Woods, or Edmonds.
You're probably spending the highest draft capital on Juju. So by nature, I'm not big on Juju, but if you're spending, say, a 5th round pick on him, you're not spending a 5th round pick on any of these other guys. So by default, if I'm spending a top 50, top 55 or so pick on Juju or on anybody really, my thought process there is to start that guy. And they're playing Arizona in Arizona week 1. There could be some fireworks in that game. I don't love Juju, but I think I would go with Juju. We also have, we'll have start sit help. Now that we've got a few more people in here, just another extra plug. For some of our plans throughout the season. We are bringing Saturday and Sunday start sit live streams back starting this Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. Come get your start sit questions answered. So Patty and anybody else who's got like a start sit question for week 1, when we've got a little bit more information with practice reports that will start coming in tomorrow on Wednesday, right? We'll have a little bit better of an answer, a little bit more clarity. For some of these guys. Lazard, I can already tell you don't play. It sounds like he's hurt, he's banged up. I would not go with him no matter what this week, but we'll get some more clarity for all of these guys in the coming days, and we'll give a more concrete answer on Saturday and Sunday. In addition, this Thursday, week 1, we are taking the general public up to kickoff for the Bills and the Rams. That will be our final general public Thursday stream of the season. After that, our Thursday streams will be members only. However, if you are interested in some additional streams with us throughout the season on Wednesdays and Thursdays, which are members only, we have a practice squad level membership that gets you eligible just for those streams. There are no other perks, but it's just those 2 streams a week, 99 cents a month if you're interested.
Yeah, what can you get for 99 cents?
You can't even get a coffee anymore.
Exactly. Inflation. So
right.
There you go. But
just
yo, Patty,
something to think about.
Patty, those are great flex options to to have to choose from. Juju, Penny, Lazard, Woods, and Edmonds. All great flex options to choose from. So we will help you out for week 1 and all the coming weeks in fantasy. Just stick with us here and remember to join in on our start sit streams Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, I think Nick's right on it with week 1 in terms of recommending Juju. Just go with the player you drafted first. See how it shakes out. Hey, you could be starting Edmonds in that flex spot by week 2.
Yes.
But stick with Juju week 1. Just see how it plays out. Lazard, yes, injured. Woods might be the wide receiver 1, is the wide receiver 1 coming into the year. So that's the only other guy that's like, maybe. But stick with Juju. Stick with Juju. Ride it out and see what happens, and we'll help you reevaluate come week 2 if you need to.
Yep.
And Eric Lanier, again, good to see you, man. Good to see you back in here. Hope your summer was good.
Thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And yo, is he in the Discord?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in there.
Dope. We got to give him. We got to give.
Sorry.
Members only status.
We got to give membership status real quick for anybody who might be looking for more information about the channel. Membership details. First link in the description of this video. Draft plan, if anybody's doing any last minute drafts, second link in the description of this video. And finally, the Discord link, which can certainly help us with start sit. Discord link, third link in the description of this video. Evergreen invite. You don't need to be a member to join. However, you do get additional levels or as far as membership access to the Discord rooms if you become at least a starter level member.
And hey, that redraft draft kit still has value even if you've drafted. You can go and just check out the team that you drafted and how Nick feels about the team that you drafted. Just going and searching the players that are on your team right now. You can also, if you're going through the waiver wire and you're having to make some decisions in week 1, week 2, whatever, you can go back to that draft kit and see if that person has an entry in Nick's draft kit and see what Nick thinks about him as well. So this isn't just up until the start of the season document. It might not get updated weekly come the regular season, but you can still at least rely on it for the first 3 to 4 weeks to help you with some decisions like that. So great content, and doesn't become irrelevant as soon as Thursday 8:20. So just throwing that out there. Eric, what are you guys' thoughts on Romeo Doubs?
He's got as good a chance to be Aaron Rodgers' guy this year as anybody, as far as I'm concerned.
We got some spam in the chat.
Uh-oh.
Look at Nemo mods already on it. Look at Nemo already on
it.
Mod status.
That's why we have our mods.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
who we
Nemo.
love and appreciate. Yeah, all those sex bots are trying to come at us. Anyway, as far as Dubs, look, Aaron Rodgers doesn't mince words and doesn't hide what he's feeling or thinking. He throws to the dudes that he trusts. And Aaron Rodgers has spoken glowingly about Romeo Doubs this offseason. The Packers drafted Christian Watson in the second round. It sounds like he's trending toward a return sooner than later, but as a rookie who feels like he's a bit more of a long-term play, a little bit of a developmental project with a big ceiling, he hasn't practiced this offseason. He's kind of behind the 8 ball. And then there's Allen Lazard, who has been everybody's favorite, 7th or 8th round draft pick this year because they feel like he's Aaron Rodgers' de facto number 1 receiver. No disrespect to Allen Lazard, but he's never proven that just he should have that role by default based on what he's done to this point.
Nope.
I love Romeo Doubs in the, at this point in your redraft league, it's probably like a 12th round pick that you need to spend on him. Why not? Right? That's very low risk. And might be the guy who actually turns out to be Rodgers' wide receiver 1. I don't think that role has ever been a rookie, but also the Packers wide receiver 1 role with Aaron Rodgers as leading the charge has never been more wide open and has never been more unknown than it is this year. So yeah, why not Romeo Doubs? Take a chance on him 120 picks into your draft.
No, I do think that Rodgers favors vets.
Yes.
I think any quarterback of his stature favors vets.
Yes.
So we cannot forget about the presence of Sammy Watkins, even though I and everybody in here would like to write him off as somebody that's going to score 3 touchdowns week 1 and disappear for the rest of the year. That may not be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Dubs could end up being the wide receiver 3 on this team. Now, what I think is the most likely thing to happen is that it switches week to week until Rodgers starts to key in on one person.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Dubs.
Yeah, I don't know.
But in the 12th round.
Oh, yeah.
What's the risk?
There is none.
So draft him in redraft. I don't know how I feel about him in Dynasty. To me, in Dynasty, it's almost like just take what you can get for him. If you drafted him, just put him on the block, take what you can get for him because, yes, Christian Watson is there. I know the Packers don't draft wide receivers early in the NFL draft, but they probably will be forced to within the next few seasons because look at their depth chart. Either they should be drafting a wide receiver or paying a wide receiver a lot of money to come and play for them. So I like it. To me, it's like, yes, Romeo Doubs has this year of opportunity ahead of him. The door is already closing because Christian Watson is back in some form or fashion. And it could be closed on him by 2023. And then he's not very much of a dynasty asset. He kind of, started hot and flamed out by nature of him being one of the only targets on the team.
Sure.
So that's something to worry about in Dynasty, but in redraft in the 12th round, just go for it. Why not?
Yeah.
But don't forget about Sammy Watkins, who can probably be had later, 2 rounds later, 3 rounds later. So, yeah, non-zero chance he becomes the wide receiver 1 for this team and stays healthy.
Yes, sir. Maybe
not predicting it, but non-zero chance.
It's wide open. It's wide open, so take the guys who are cheaper. Draft the dudes who are cheaper. See what happens.
Iron, you're a beast, man. 2014 best ball pre-kickoff draft.
That's wild.
That sounds fun. That's wild.
I would love to get a couple puppy 4s in before the season kicks off. I know that's filling fast, but it is the final. It's still less than halfway full. Here we go. I know what I'm doing after our keeper league draft tonight.
There you go.
And we do officially have less than an hour for this stream, so we will.
So let's get through this. Let's get through these.
Let's get through these questions. And comments. Make sure we get to everybody.
Callum Roger, man, what's happening?
I'd say we're ready for the season, man. I think everybody in here is. It's been a long off season. We're ready for football to return.
Can't wait. In a 12-team PPR format this year, starters are all set except for flex. Pick one: Christian Kirk, Chase Edmonds, Tyler Lockett, or Kadarius Toney. Christian Kirk.
I was going to say, Kirk.
Yeah.
Kirk. Washington gave up, I think, the most passing yards in the NFL last year, and they don't have Chase Young, who is on the PUP list. Will miss the first 4 games. Jacksonville's got nowhere to go but up on offense. They move away from Urban Meyer. Now they have Doug Peterson, who has proven to be I'd say an above average offensive mind in the NFL. Gets to right the ship, hopefully, with Trevor Lawrence, and they paid Kirk top 10 money. He's got a spectacular matchup against Washington. I would play Kirk.
Yeah, again, Chase Edmonds is enticing because he does look to be the RB1 for that team, and it's hard to come off of an RB1 who lost one of his running mates in Sony Michel to the waiver wire and then, got picked up by the Chargers and all that. But Christian Kirk was targeted on 36.3% of his routes in the Jaguars preseason game against the Steelers.
Pretty good.
Preseason, take a grain of salt, all that, but 36.3% of his routes. High usage, exactly what you want from a wide receiver. He seemed to have broken into another tier production-wise after last season. He's getting paid among the 10th highest paid at his position. So just go for it. Go with Christian Kirk. See what happens. And again, there's a chance come week 2 that we're advocating you start Chase Edmonds. But roll with Christian Kirk and see what happens.
Yep.
Donnell Brown, good trade or nah. Got Dalvin Cook for Debo. My current wide receiver group are are Justin Jefferson, Darnell Mooney, Jalen Waddle, Christian Kirk, Treylon Burks, and then
looks like
Breece Hall, Dameon Pierce, and miscellaneous running back.
Yeah, just from the sake of need, it's a good move. Dalvin Cook's ADP is higher than Debo's. Dalvin Cook is a low-end first-round pick. Debo's more of like a middle second-round pick in most drafts that I've seen.
No, I like that deal.
I like the deal. I have a little bit of pause with Dalvin this year just because he has separated his shoulder like several times over the past couple of seasons, and that is a high re-injury risk. So if you don't have Madison, I would maybe see if you can try to find a way to get him onto your roster and just secure the investment or secure the insurance.
Yep. Especially with only, Cook and Hall and Pierce and then a bunch of miscellaneous.
Yeah. And Cook and Hall can absolutely be, and probably Pierce, although he's got a tough matchup against the Colts week 1. But you might, what do you have? Jefferson, Mooney, Waddle. I'd probably play all 3 of those guys over Pierce if it's 2 receivers and a flex, then I would play the receivers. If it's 3 receivers and a flex, then you're playing Pierce.
Regardless, I like the deal. You traded a wide receiver 8, wide receiver 10 on the year probably is what'll end up being for a running back who has never finished lower than RB9 in fantasy points per game over the last 3 years, and 2 out of the last 3 years was RB2 by fantasy points per game. So, and by all accounts, the Vikings offense should open up a whole lot more than ever before, which means maybe less work on goal line, but honestly, it might be more work through the pass game on goal line for the running backs. We really don't know how it's going to work, and it could just mean more scoring opportunities for the running backs in general, i.e. Dalvin Cook. So, I like the deal. He was my RB5. Deebo Samuel was my RB8 or 9. So, I like the deal. I think you got better. You got better.
I mean, despite my concerns about Dalvin's shoulder, that is a win in the sense of Dalvin is regularly drafted ahead of Debo, and running back was a bigger need for you anyway.
2 flex.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 2 flex. So so now you got a little bit even more versatility with what you want to do on a week-to-week basis. Yeah. I'd say nicely done. And Debo's spectacular. I love Debo from a talent perspective, but there's a little bit of a question mark about what type of season we're going to have for him. Can he replicate his monster outputs from last year going to an unproven quarterback in Trey Lance?
Knowing that the team might want to limit his running back attempts, knowing that the team might want to put a little bit more emphasis on Brandon Ayuk, knowing that the team is going from a pass-first Jimmy Garoppolo to maybe a little bit more conservative play calling with Trey Lance under center. So, I like that deal.
Yeah, nicely done.
Is there any chance that you have Kirk Cousins at QB to complete the stack?
Yeah.
That would be interesting. But let us know in the chat below.
Full Viking stack. I wouldn't be opposed.
Yep.
Or Madison, if you can back him up.
Cali Loco, what's happening, man? Finished your draft yesterday, and you wanted our thoughts. All right, QB, Burrow and Dak. Running back, Swift, Javonte, Dillon, Michael Carter, Madison, and Brian Robinson.
Nice.
Wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Gabe Davis, my guy, Mike Williams, Darnell Mooney, Isaiah McKenzie, Jamison Williams.
Okay.
Tight end, Hunter Henry, Logan Thomas.
And you got sniped on Knox. That's okay. I mean,
you got a couple of options there that they're future assets. Is this a redraft? Because, Logan Thomas and Jamison Williams, Logan Thomas is probably going to play this year. I don't know how healthy he's going to be come week 1. He might start, might not. I think it's going to be John Bates for week 1. But Jamison Williams, he might not play until the last 4 to 6 games of the year.
Yeah. And that's if the Lions are competitive. The Lions need to have some wins for them to have any incentive to get Jamison Williams on the field this year. He's very dicey for this year.
I like your
like the Lions.
I like your top 4 wide receivers a lot. I like your wide receiver depth. outside of Jameson Williams. It's just Jameson Williams is such a question mark. We're not even sure you can rely on him for 2022. So if this is redraft, a little bit of it's high upside, but I mean, he's got a floor of 0. So you do have to factor that in. I like your tight ends if Logan Thomas is healthy. I do like your tight ends. Running backs, you also have a guy that might not be playing week 1, week 2, week 3, and Brian Robinson. But again, he is your RB6, so that's okay.
Nice stash.
I like this team.
I do too.
I like this team a lot. You got depth in a lot of places. You got good starters. I like this team a lot. Good job.
Yeah. Anchors at wide receiver. Strong at running back. Going 3 deep. Hopefully 4 deep when Brian Robinson returns. This might be super flex.
Yeah, let us know the format. Let us know the
format. In
which
case, you're fine with Burrow.
Full PPR. Yeah.
You're fine with Burrow.
And Jameson and Logan are on our IR. Okay.
Okay, so you're stashing them. That's fine for now.
And it's redraft.
You might find that you're dropping those guys by week 4 or 5, but that's okay. Just to create space or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Logan Thomas with Hunter Henry being a guy that it's probably going to be a top 12 option at tight end this year. You probably don't need Logan Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And he would be the first drop, I think.
Yes.
Because of how replaceable the tight end position is. But, yeah, I mean, hold on to Jameson Williams as long as you can, but you might be dropping him by week 6, come bye weeks. We're not sure. And he might not be playing all year. So just factor that in, keep that in mind. But I like your starters, like your depth. Good squad.
Yeah.
Good draft.
Either way, 12 team, full PPR, and you came away with that. Pretty good. I would say that's pretty good.
Hunter L, what's happening? What's going on, man?
What's up, Hunter? Nemo agrees he likes the team. We got to Patty's question about the flex or the pick one for week 1. If you didn't hear it, Patty, let us know. We did review it, but if you didn't catch it, let us know.
Yep. And Donnell, we got yours as well.
Got that one.
Thoughts on likely?
John's been on a likely.
I keep having to reevaluate because every day another report comes out saying, "Oh, they're going to use likely in the pass game."
He's going to be their third
wide
option.
receiver. Yeah, just all right. All right, so
likely heard John's comments and said, "That's cool. Watch this."
Yeah, I've been loving the memes on Twitter.
Yeah.
How many
drafts am I in?
Yeah, likely 80. I've been liking those.
Yeah.
I've been liking
how many
those.
beers?
Those are fun.
How many beers am I going to drink week 1? Likely 80.
Yeah. Thoughts on him? I think the preseason has been very kind to him. I don't want to badmouth him. He's never going to be on any of my fantasy teams, dynasty or redraft. But I hope he has a great career.
Sure.
He does not have the size, speed, athleticism combination that I look for. He has the size, not the speed, not the athleticism. Go look at that RAS chart link that I threw up in the chat a few comments ago. You can see where he slots in his own draft class athletically. And even in his own draft class, it's not great. He, in the preseason, was playing with a tight end or with a quarterback who hyper targets tight ends in Tyler Huntley. You saw it last season when Lamar Jackson went out. Tyler Huntley basically locked in on Mark Andrews and passed to him every other play, if not every play. It amounted to him scoring 7 more fantasy points over the span that he played with Tyler Huntley versus Lamar Jackson. Tyler Huntley loves tight ends.
Yeah, he does.
Which is why Isaiah likely went off for 100 yards and a half of a preseason game, and everybody, went crazy over him. That's not going to happen in the regular season. He has a bona fide tight end 1 ahead of him, top 3 tight end 1 ahead of him, and was firmly in his prime at 27 years old himself.
Yep.
Likely will be quickly forgotten about, is what I think will happen. There's a chance that he can solidify himself as the second wide receiver on this team because Devin Duvernay, Tylan Wallace, those guys don't inspire a lot of optimism. But I'm not super high on Likely as a tight end prospect. If they convert him to wide receiver, even then, I think as a wide receiver, his athleticism RAS goes down from 4.88 to 3.5. And that's a score out of 10. So even if you give him, slot him out wide and throw him in the wide receiver slot and have him run slot routes, I don't think it's going to go all that well for Likely. When he's not playing in the preseason with a quarterback who targets tight ends more than any other quarterback I've ever seen, ever. So, but I hope he has a great career. I hope he proves me wrong.
John is ultimately hoping that when Matt Ryan's tenure in Indianapolis is done, the Colts trade for Tyler Huntley, and then it's Jelani Woods to not even the moon, Jelani Woods to Mars.
Jelani Woods and Tyler Huntley. Oh man, don't. I'm gonna shut off the stream right now.
That's the concoction that you are hoping gets cooked.
Yeah. Cody Johnson, what's happening, man? You have Dobbins, and you are offered a 2024 and 2025 first plus Chase Edmonds for him. Should you accept it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. Take that deal.
Do it.
I think we both like the deal. Yeah. Dobbins is younger than Edmonds, right? I don't know by how much. But
3 years, I would think.
Chase Edmonds is what, 26? Dobbins is 23.
He's 26.
I don't know when he turned.
So, yeah.
So Dobbins is 3 years younger. So, that's not nothing.
But
Edmonds
Chase
is
also never had a full-time role to himself, so we don't really have to worry about like a workload issue catching up with him.
Right. Plus the picks. I mean, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I would accept that deal. You're getting multiple firsts and a running back who can still catch passes, or who will catch passes over Dobbins, who is enticing, younger, and proved that he's a better player than Chase Edmonds, at least during his rookie season. But that's a package that is more than enough for me to say, yeah, I'll I accept.
And it's more enticing now that Sony Michel isn't there, vulturing goal line touches from Chase Edmonds.
Yep.
I mean,
right.
And Raheem Mostert isn't going to be that guy. Raheem Mostert's never been a goal line guy. So who do they have at goal line? It's Salvin Ahmed and Myles Gaskin, and we've seen how that goes. The coaching staff has seen how that goes, and that's why they signed Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert and Sony Michel, so they would never have to deal with Myles Gaskin and Salvin Ahmed ever again. So, yeah, man, I love that deal.
Yeah.
Press accept on that yesterday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a nice haul.
And Nemo's already looking forward to week 2.
Bro, we haven't even gotten to week 1.
I like it.
But I will say the Falcons' offense is one to target this year for your defense to stream. So,
yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Go for it.
But let's get to week 1 first. I know you're excited. We all are.
But if you want to, be forward thinking, it usually doesn't hurt you. And it is a skill that comes in handy when you hit the postseason, when you're coming up on the postseason, because at that point, that's when you really want to be dropping these ancillary players for your second kicker and second defense, just to make sure you have the best starting lineup come the playoffs. So I don't hate it, Nemo. I don't hate it.
Rams defense on waivers is a little surprised. I know I would not play them this week against the Bills, but they should be rostered. But yeah, go for it. CXK, what's up, man?
And Elout, I don't hate your team, man. I think your team is
That's
fine.
not a shit team. If
people are hating on your team, just tell them to shut up.
People just like to hate.
Yeah, it's fine.
People just like to hate. They got nothing better to do.
So, yeah.
Yeah, feel good about that squad.
Well, I don't want to say that, but
kick rocks.
There you go.
Tell them to kick rocks.
And CXK, yeah, man, 99 cents is pretty close to free.
If I do say so myself, it's not that much for, basically probably around 4 extra hours of our time each week, or if not a little bit more.
When it counts. Yep.
Yeah. So 99 cents a month for anybody who maybe you're not, some of the member perks admittedly are a little stronger in the off season.
More geared towards Dynasty. Yes.
Sure. A little bit more catered toward Dynasty, team evaluations, right? Things like that. You're not going to get anything like that with the practice squad level membership. But what you do get is during the season, the Wednesday and Thursday streams that we have with the members, in addition to the general public streams on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So something to consider for, about 3 cents a day. Not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a little more. 33 or 3.3 cents a day. Something like that. You know how it is. Math is hard. So yeah.
And Jason, what's happening, man?
What's up,
Any
Jason?
thoughts on Danny Gray, 49ers wide receiver 3? I mean, he did some things in the preseason. I know in preseason game 1, I think he had a long bomb from Trey Lance.
Yes, he did.
And that's really all it takes with a guy like Danny Gray. He flew under the radar for me. I feel like this year it was like people kind of skipped the third round wide receiver, and I think he went into the third round, right?
Third round.
Yep. I mean, we went straight from Alec Pierce and Christian Watson down to Romeo Doubs. We kind of skipped that third round in terms of wide receivers, and Danny Gray falls in there. Last year, a few years ago, third round pick, Nico Collins. Third round pick, Josh Palmer. These guys, they're guys that are close and just need a little bit of seasoning in the pros to, achieve their potential theoretically. So same thing with Danny Gray. By the time Danny Gray comes into prominence, maybe Debo's elsewhere. Maybe Debo, he's 30 years old by then. So I don't know if Danny Gray is going to be making any plays year one, especially with so many strong options ahead of him in Debo and Ayuk and Kittle. Just because he's the wide receiver 3, he's the wide receiver. He's basically the 4th or 5th in the pecking order on the receiving chart on any given game day.
Mm-hmm.
But I like him in Dynasty. Not on him in redraft at all. But I like him in Dynasty. Underrated player. Underrated prospect. Could be what we want from Nico Collins and Josh Palmer now, 2 to 3 years from now.
Just in a couple of years. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting Dynasty guy. Not quite on redraft radars just yet. We got to see how this 49ers passing offense shakes out.
We got to see how this whole 49ers team shakes out, because Nemo says, next comment, Jordan Mason season, he's the guy in that San Francisco backfield. Mitchell and Wilson can't stay healthy. TDP might disappoint. Mason to the moon.
He might. He showed out this preseason. Mitchell, I think, returned to practice, but yeah, I mean, missed 6 games last year. Jeff Wilson, he failed to stay healthy last year. He got back on the field eventually, but didn't really do anything with his opportunity. Yeah, Mitchell's back on the practice field, but again, it's a hamstring. I hate hearing hamstring injuries. It doesn't mean a death knell for your season right now. It's still
it's not
scary.
How you want to start the season, especially for an undersized RB that has had injury issues in year one.
Yeah. So little unclear what his workload might be week 1. I would imagine the 49ers rotate a bunch of guys in. Mitchell gets first crack, of course, out of respect for what he did last year. Jeff Wilson is healthy, at least right now, so there is that. TDP was not impressive in the preseason, but he's intriguing. His skill set is intriguing, and they spent good draft capital to get him. That was also a 3rd-round pick by the 49ers. Of course, I don't want to. It's apples to oranges. I don't want to compare, but their last 3rd-round running back was Trey Sermon, so take that with a grain of salt. But the opportunity is certainly there. Raheem Mostert's gone. Trey Sermon is gone. As far as Mason, what better RB4 to be interested in, right? As far as a team's RB4, San Francisco will rotate and use all of these guys. So sure.
Yeah, and he's a guy that the coaching staff was high enough on to cut Trey Sermon outright.
Yeah.
Regardless of how your thoughts on Trey Sermon, they cut a 3rd-round pick after a season in favor of this undrafted free agent, Jordan Mason. So there is something there. This is also a team that in, I think, 5 straight years has had 5 different RB1s on the team under Kyle Shanahan. So it does happen. I don't know if we're projecting that Lightning to strike the same spot 6 times in a row, but the historical comp is there. So it could be Jordan Mason season. It could be enough for me to want him as a practice squad type guy on my dynasty team. Not taking him in redraft, but he's definitely got a star next to that watch list name. So could be.
Yeah, somebody keep an eye on for sure. Doesn't take much to move up as a running back in San Francisco.
And I'm gonna you guys were talking a little bit about Jordan Mason. Skipping down a little bit here. Callum Rogers. You also have ETN on that team. All right.
Oh, that was the
Christian Kirk. Yep.
Yeah. And I like ETN this year. I think he's going to have a nice RB2 season.
Yeah, good players to have, man. Good players to have. So, yeah, you might be watching the Jags a lot this season.
See what happens. I mean, they're intriguing for sure.
Nemo ladies, Jalen Warren, RB2, Liz Frank Harris suffered, has like a 22% chance of re-injury amongst NFL players. That's interesting. I didn't know that exact stat. Good to know. I wonder if he'll have some weeks where he starts.
I would think he gets at least one. It's, the Liz Frank is I hate that word. That word spells red flag to me. Now, it's a sprain. Najee was held completely out of the preseason.
But sprains are even misleading. A sprain is a tear. They're calling it a sprain. A sprain is a tear. It's a low-grade tear.
Okay.
Then they're classifying it as a sprain because it isn't even partially torn, but it is a low-grade tear of the muscle. Of the
sprain is a stretch or tear in a ligament. So there you go.
Yeah. So those grade 3 sprains are tears. Grade 2 and grade 1, maybe they're a little bit, they're still tears.
Lower
lesser
severity,
end of the spectrum, absolutely.
Yeah, but still a tear.
But a Liz Frank sprain, to me, is basically a Liz Frank tear.
Here's how I feel about Najee, and then as it pertains to Warren, who, kudos to him, he ascended to the RB2 role for the Steelers. That officially happened. I don't know if Fortune West is in here, but shout out. Najee scares me. I'm intrigued by him in the 2nd round, but I am because then at that point it's like, okay, you're talking about if healthy, the clear-cut RB1 for a team that force feeds one guy. One of the few teams who still does that. But 400 touches accumulated last year as a rookie, including the playoffs and the Liz Frank injury. Man, I worry about durability with Najee this year. I'm not worried about workload. If he's on the field, he's the guy. Was the
Liz Frank what Derrick Henry had last year?
Yeah, but that was a
tear.
I think it was a break or a tear. Yeah, or a fracture. I think it was like a fracture.
Yeah, but I'm just again the 400 touch mark. Like it's just. Yep. Derrick Henry got, survived it 2 seasons in a row, 3 seasons in a row, and then it caught up to him. Liz Frank. Najee took him 1. Liz Frank. And even in that 1 season, 3.9 yards per carry on 380 touches. Like he got a lot of work. It wasn't actually pretty. It really wasn't. So that
especially in the second half.
His efficiency, his lack of efficiency, when he's fully healthy, combined with the 22% chance of re-injury from a Liz Frank that, even if he doesn't re-injure it, will probably somewhat hamper him in the efficiency department.
Scary.
I really like Najee as a prospect. He's becoming a little bit of a scary proposition in redraft.
Yeah, I think he's already there. I can't take him in the first round. I'll take him like in the middle of the second round, just because then it's like, okay, it's a bit, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt, but this is a good value relative to the expected workload. Yeah, less than 4 yards a carry is like not enticing, but he's going to come through on volume if he's healthy. So like that offsets it. And Mitchell Trubisky has a high throwing rate to running back. So anybody who's concerned about, Roethlisberger not being there anymore, I think Najee's potential to catch a lot of passes is still there, just based on Mitchell Trubisky's track record. Last year's workload plus this sprain, I have some pause.
Yep.
About Najee this year. So as far as Warren, I mean, look, he's like a wrecking ball in there, man. He provided based on the preseason some shiftiness that Benny Snell couldn't provide and some power that Anthony McFarland could not provide. Jaylen Warren is the combination of those two guys. And that makes him very interesting in this scenario. If I draft Najee, I am not leaving my draft without Jaylen Warren. And so maybe that's your argument or incentive to end up with Najee. Just make sure you end up with Warren. But even if it's like week 3 or week 4 and Najee's trucking along okay and he's putting the work in and Warren's giving you nothing, I'm not dropping Warren.
No.
I'm not. I hitched my wagon to that horse. I am going to ride that and wait and see what happens. Warren showed out.
And there are very few one-to-one handcuff roles in the league when we look. I mean, lots of guys, yeah, they come in on third down and share the load and stuff like that. But one-to-one replacements, we're talking Alexander Madison with Dalvin Cook. We're talking Jaylen Warren now with Najee Harris. There are very few one-to-one replacements for the RB1 role for any NFL team, and Jaylen Warren has that. So keep that in mind.
Yep.
Cali Loco, trade away Alexander Madison, Hunter Henry, and Brandon McManus for
trade.
Brandon Cooks, Dalton Schultz, and Carson.
To the Cook owner.
I like Cooks and Schultz more than I like Madison and Henry.
Oh, not even. Cooks is far and away.
Yeah, so I'll give up. I'll swap kickers for that. Absolutely.
If you can get that for what if you can get Cooks, forget Schultz and Carson. If you can get Brandon Cooks for that package, I would do it.
Cooks is the most underrated fantasy wide receiver every year. And
that's pretty lopsided.
It astounds me how underrated he is. And I like Hunter Henry as much as the next guy, but he doesn't have top 6 upside. And Schultz showed last year he has top 6 upside, and he lost a bunch of target competition. So yeah, I would take that deal in a second. So if that's on the table, take it. If you are trying to offer that, be prepared to be rejected because it is a little lopsided. Not even lopsided. A little. It's a lot lopsided.
Yeah.
But if you can get that done, man, all the better for your team.
Yep, it's lopsided. But if it was like if I trade those 3 for just Cooks, I would do that. Yeah, it's lopsided. I wouldn't expect you to get that, but shoot your shot.
Yeah, man. Try it out.
Shoot your shot. And Donnell also has Kirk Cousins. Hey, man, Viking stack. You're going to be in good shape this year.
Nice.
Remember that.
Nice.
I like the Vikings offense this year a lot.
Good job.
Nicely done.
Texas 1X. Should I trade
Texas?
Devonta Smith for Zeke? I'm in need of RB depth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it. I like Devontae Smith, but Zeke is in RB1 being drafted in the 4th round this year. So it feels like his value is lower. And I love Devontae Smith, but he's a 7th, 8th round pick.
Yep.
And it's a need for you. Yeah, man.
Pull the trigger.
Do it.
And don't look back. You'll be all right.
Do it. If you need, even if you didn't need the running back depth, I would say you figure it out later. That's an advantage in your favor. Getting Zeke for Devontae. Yeah, do it.
Yep.
Nemo agrees. I feel like you were pretty kind. You were okay with talking about likely there. You didn't say anything too bad.
No, man, it wasn't like past streams where I was, disrespecting his family.
We were both a
and
little,
all that shit. No.
Yeah. Could he get cheap volume points? I mean, sure, but like, how many cheap volume? There's not a ton of. As I love the Ravens, I love Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson, but like, it's not a very voluminous passing offense. You know what I mean? So like, it could come in spurts, but not. I wouldn't.
And the one thing they're missing is the burner. They're not missing like a PPR short to the intermediate and short route ball catcher. Like they technically have two of those. Yeah. They need somebody who can do other things. So I just don't know if Likely. I don't know if Likely's the guy. The guy. But speaking of a tight end that could come to prominence sooner than later, Nemo.
You like.
Here, McDaniels is going to use a lot of 12 personnel. Smells like a Foster Moreau breakout.
They did it in New England a lot. They still do. So, sure.
RAS above 9. He's only 25 years old.
Sure.
Even if it doesn't, lead to him on the field a lot this season. And I'm not drafting Moreau in redraft. I have him in literally every dynasty league I'm in. And he could come to prominence as soon as next year, because Darren Waller is going to get a contract extension. Everything is moving in that direction. And once they do that, they're not going to pay a backup tight end who's playing in a contract year this year. So Foster Moreau, who has been groomed under Darren Waller, has an RAS of 9, and will only be 26 by the time the contract year comes up, and is in free agency next year, is going to be one of the top free agents on the market at the tight end position, and will most likely get picked up by a team that envisions him as their next tight end one.
I mean,
so buy Foster Moreau now. The roadmap is clear for him. Could he end up in a backup role again? Yes. But his chance to become a starter in the league is 2023. That's it.
I think he has breakout potential this year.
I hope so. I'm just saying, like, if you're playing the realistic game, the long game, and you're in Dynasty, you're a year away from a Moreau breakout. You are. I don't know if Devontae Adams and Waller and Renfro plus can be sustained by Derek Carr.
Sure, but like, who are you putting? What wide receiver 3 are you putting on the field in the Raiders offense in favor of taking Foster Moreau off the field? Mac Hollins? Keelan Cole, who I think just signed to their practice squad?
Wide receiver 3, I mean.
It's Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfro.
And Darren Waller.
Well, sure. Well, I'm talking about the wide receivers. Like, why would you run 11 personnel? No disrespect to these guys. Why would you run 11 personnel if your wide receiver 3 options are Mac Hollins, Tyron Johnson, and DJ Turner? Foster Moreau is going to see the field this year.
Yeah, he could.
I'll say it right now.
And
he catches 5 touchdowns
Ingold,
this year.
that fullback Ingold was let go, and went
Ingold's not there anymore.
Miami Dolphins. He was a guy that I was going to say, hey, they've put out him in 12 personnel and ran him and Darren Waller as the two tight ends out there, but he's not there anymore. So yeah, you're not wrong. It could be Moreau
catches
this
5 touchdowns this year.
Well, he does that. He's done that pretty much every year.
5 or 6, yeah, but with more volume.
There you go.
Yeah,
and not necessarily an injury ahead of him.
I say he breaks out this year, relative to what I think most people are expecting from Moreau, which is probably not that much. Yeah, he's going to be on the field and he's going to be producing.
400 yards, 5 touchdowns.
I think he can do more than that.
I hope so.
I think he can do more.
He has the upside for more, so I like him a lot. And if he can perform in fantasy in 2022, all the better. But 2023 is when we should really see him, go off.
We got about 10 minutes left before we got to call it, because we have a important home league draft to get to at the top of the hour. So we're going to maybe do a little bit of speed round on the rest of these questions and comments. If anybody needs anything else from us for the rest of the evening, Again, the Discord is open. Evergreen invite. Third link in the description of this video. And we appreciate everybody's patience and hanging out so far today in this abbreviated stream.
Yep. Iron, hey, man. That sounds funny. That's the type of thing you got to get on camera and throw in the Discord, bro.
Yeah.
This is the type of thing you got to get on recording and throw it in the Discord. Nemo, Spiller or Michelle? Who's going to be the handcuff? It's Michelle. I don't think they would have got.
Xavier?
They would have brought out. What's going on, Xavier? I don't think they would have brought in Michelle if they had faith in Spiller.
Maybe it's a Joshua Kelly thing.
Well, I think Spiller becomes the new Joshua Kelly.
Yeah.
I think Sony is the RB2 on that team.
I think Spiller's listed 2 on the depth chart. Obviously, that could change quickly with a recent signing. And Spiller is back at practice. Yeah, Spiller is listed as the RB2, then Kelly, then Sony. But Sony was just signed.
Yeah,
he was just signed.
Once he gets up to speed, it should be Sony.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a gross week-to-week thing. Sony's probably going to see some opportunities, I would say maybe by week 8, week 9, after they try Spiller. Maybe Spiller pops a little bit here and there. I think it's going to be a gross grab bag. I would not worry too much about the Chargers' backup running backs. But yeah, Sony will be the cheapest one to draft by far. So I like that. I always like that.
Yep. Xavier Dubs traded Judy for Marquise. Full PPR. What do y'all think?
That's fine. I do kind of like. I do like Judy this year, and I think he's got a chance for maybe a little bit more long-term relevance as far as like maybe the second half of the season. Whereas Marquise Brown will be battling DeAndre Hopkins returning to the lineup. But for the first 6 games of the year, Hollywood's going to feast. So, or he should anyway, especially because Zach Ertz is apparently ailing. He's day-to-day and could miss week 1. So Marquise Brown should see some pretty strong volume to start the season. Could be a good like sell high guy week 3 or so. So you could even get some better return on investment for giving up Judy. But in the short term, I like the trade. I do.
Yeah, I like the trade too. Marquise Brown should be good. I'm not as big a fan of Judy as Nick is. You did opt for an older wide receiver and trading for Marquise Brown, but there's nothing wrong with that. Both still youngish options. I think Marquise Brown is 25 years old, so you didn't mortgage a ton of your future there. If this is a dynasty question, if not, hey, I have nothing wrong with that. No issues with that move.
I think it's. I mean, yeah. Feel free to
slightly lateral, but I really have no issues with that move. If you like the guy more that you got on your team now than you had a week ago, that's good.
I think a lot of these are going to be redrafted at this point, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Nemo, you're one step ahead. Never let them know your next move.
Jack from the Steelers store. I like it. Xavier, basically around the same area. I just see Brown starting off solid compared to Jerry.
Just talked about that. So I'm in agreement there. I think Hollywood has a much better chance to get off to a really good start. Again, I like Judy this year. I do. I think he's going to be just fine this year. Hollywood has a chance to pop through the first few weeks of the season, and then it's like, see if you can get a wide receiver 1 for him. Obviously, that has to play out, but
right. And I don't know if Jerry Judy gets there this year, even with Tim Patrick injury.
But Hollywood might pop. Hollywood's got a chance to pop enough to get some pretty strong ROI in the first couple weeks.
And Xavier Dubs, we will answer that question tomorrow because we are a little bit stressed for time, and you're a member. So
yeah, can you make the Thursday stream?
Could you make the Thursday stream? Could you make the Wednesday stream tomorrow? And we'll have a conversation about it with you then. We just want to get to the questions in this chat that are available to us.
I think the wide receivers are fine, but yeah, we can do a little bit deeper dive tomorrow. We're a little bit crunched for time tonight.
And Crumply Heads, just send us a Discord. Just throw it in the Discord. Say, hey, send us a personal message. Send us just a message in the members only Discord once you get access. Say, hey, I want to set up a session. These are the times that work for me. Here's my sleeper username, login name. Yep. And so we can look it up, and then we'll set up a Zoom call with you, and you, Nick, and I on a Zoom call outside of a stream, and we'll go in depth over any team you want, and it can be multiple. So, just throwing that out there, man. But yeah, absolutely love having you as a member. Thanks for being a faithful subscriber for the past year.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
And we'll get you into that session real soon. Shenanigans. Shanahanigans.
Shanahanigans.
I like it. Boston has. Yes.
What's up,
love
Boss
it.
Dash?
I like it, man. Do I trade Jalen Waddle and Terry McLaurin for Fournette and Garrett Wilson in half PPR redraft?
Redraft? No. Garrett Wilson's. I like Fournette. I think Fournette's got, he's got a clear path to an RB1 workload, at least maybe to start the season. Wilson is. I like Wilson long term. That's too big of a drop off in redraft going from either Waddle or McLaurin
wide receiver
to Wilson.
2s to a wide receiver 4-5.
4-5, yeah.
For 2022, not long term. Obviously, we think highly of Garrett Wilson, but for this year in a redraft trade, stay where you're at, especially because your RBs right now are Akers and Barkley. You should be able to be all right.
Stay where you're at. Hold pat. Hold serve. I would not do that. I would not do that deal.
Nemo with the
Najee's injury was performed by a gynecologist.
Or the first Liz Frank injury. I don't.
Oh, the first one.
I don't know. I don't know which one you're talking about there. But
I don't know.
Regardless, that's interesting. Maybe. I don't know. Interesting. Najee had that 350 touch curse on him. Every player who was at 350 touches the season prior did not make it through the next one. That's not actually entirely true. Derrick Henry has multiple times.
Henry did it
and
a couple
LaDainian
times.
Tomlinson has multiple times. And there are other players who have made it through this next season. It's just their efficiency fell off a cliff. Sean Alexander did. His efficiency fell off a cliff. And he was basically unusable in fantasy the year after being an RB1 clear and away. That's what we're worried about with Najee. You look at even Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley in recent memory. They had 400 touches. Saquon Barkley in his year 1 season, CMC in I think year 3. And the year after, what happened? Injuries. So that's what we're worried about. Now, it's not even just that they won't make it through the next season. It's that their efficiency falls off a cliff because of the fatigue that they put on their muscles. Man, it's tough. Yeah. So something to absolutely keep in mind. But again, we have 4 minutes left in this stream.
Yeah, reduced stream for anybody who's coming in late. Riley, I see you down there. Thanks for coming in. We have a home league draft that we have tonight at the top of the hour. So we are cutting it a little short today. We appreciate everybody coming in. Let's rapid fire through these last few comments before we close things down.
And Cali Loco's asking about McKenzie.
What trade was this?
I'm looking to see.
Oh, was this the Cooks trade?
Yeah.
Dude, if you need to add McKenzie to your side to make it
Go
happen,
for it. Do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like
fine.
McKenzie this year, but you're getting you can get clear upgrades
at this point. He's a replaceable asset in
he already
draft.
he reposted it and I didn't see. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, if you need to add a couple depth pieces to make that happen, do it. Oh, it's Knox.
And he's still an upgrade.
That's fine. Still an upgrade. Still an upgrade. If you can make it
more
happen,
touchdown upside, maybe not the same yardage upside as Schultz has, but more touchdown upside than either Henry or Schultz. So I like the Knox. That is an upgrade.
Yep.
And Nemo, we weren't worried about Tennessee backups until we had to worry, Nick. It's not false.
You ain't wrong.
I always think a few steps forward.
Yeah,
it's a blessing and a fantasy curse. Yeah, man.
It's good to be out in front of that type of stuff. You love to see it. So yeah, man, go get the Rams. Go get that Rams defense. Mariota's in for a field day that day.
Ooh, yeah.
Not
Riley VIP, what's happening, man? Good to have you in here. Ramondre Stevenson or Tony Pollard, PPR week 1?
Pollard in PPR, probably Pollard.
I think it's Pollard too, because you look at the weapons that they have to deal with week 1. No Gallup. Jalen Tolbert in week 1, his first game ever. It's basically CD, Schultz, Zeke, and Pollard. Whereas Ramondre, yes, it's basically on that other side of the field. It's basically Damian Harrison, Ramondre Stevenson. But Tony, the Dallas Cowboys run a whole lot more plays per game, so that should lead to more fantasy opportunities for Pollard than Ramondre in week 1.
Pollard had the most routes run at the running back position last year.
And that should only grow in a year where they don't have Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson, Blake Jarwin, Michael Gallup to start the year.
James Washington on IR.
Right.
Yeah, Cedric Wilson. You said Cedric Wilson already. Yeah, I mean, Pollard needs and the Cowboys' offensive line is decimated. They need to do some dump offs, right? Get that ball out quick. Pollard should benefit in that regard.
Now they're pretty close.
Play Pollard.
They are pretty close.
They're close, but I would go Pollard.
I would go Pollard too, because he does have a slightly higher pass catching upside and plays in a better offense. But they're close.
And it's full PPR.
Yes.
So yeah.
Greg Z, what's happening, man?
Greg?
Hunt or Sanders for RB2 this week?
It would be great if Sanders was healthy, because it's a great matchup against the Lions.
Yeah,
but Sanders is dealing with, again, he's what is his latest? Did he return to the practice field?
I don't even know.
Returns to practice. He returned to practice last week, but he was sidelined for weeks with a hamstring injury. If he plays, I think I gotta go Sanders in a great matchup against the Lions. But also, this could be like a J.K. Dobbins type of situation where he doesn't get a full work. Well, Sanders, no Eagles running back ever gets a full workload, but they scale him back a little bit, right? He's not, fully ready, to take on like a regular workload. He's coming back from the hamstring. Greg, we do offer start-sit advice. Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you're able to make either one of those streams this weekend, we might be able to give you a more concrete answer. I'll tentatively say Sanders in a great matchup, but if his availability this week is shaky on the 50-50 side, Kareem Hunt is an easy pivot from a talent perspective and an availability perspective. But let's circle back on that this weekend if you're able to make one of our streams either Saturday evening or Sunday morning before the full slate.
Absolutely, and I think I would have to echo Nick's sentiments there. I like Sanders. I've always liked Sanders. But I don't know, man. There's just something about him. With how many injuries he racks up, dicey. And the coach isn't wearing his T-shirts. It's wearing Kenny Gainwell's T-shirts. There's a lot of fantasy analysis to dig into with respect to Sanders. And Hunt, with the quarterback situation is being what it will be, he's probably going to be catching a ton of dump-offs close to the line of scrimmage for Jacoby Brissett. So it could be extra work for Hunt week 1 and for the next,
for the
10,
first
11
2
weeks.
months of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, 2.5 months of the season.
And real quick, starting Dameon Pierce, sure, if you have to. And
it depends on your other guys. If you need B-Sizzle, we are wrapping this up. We got a home league draft that we got to get to at the top of the hour. If you need some start-sit help, depending on your other options, we are going to be here again Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, before the full slate of games. You can also join our Discord, third link in the description of this video. Evergreen invite. You don't need to be a member to join. We can help with start-sit questions there. Riley, as far as getting Debo at pick 32, hey, at that point, just take him, because that's a screaming value based off of where his ADP is this year.
I don't think you're missing anything. I think other fantasy owners in that league are
they have their concerns.
They're trying to be too smart, and they're not just taking the fantasy points that are staring them in the face with the Debo after a certain point. And you did, so respect to you. Good job. But we are going to wrap this up for today. We got a league we are drafting in 27 minutes. So we want to, wind down a little bit, get ready for that. We will be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. EST for the members. Thank you to both of the new members that joined today, Fortune and Khalid, Crumply Heads. Much appreciated. We will see you tomorrow if you guys can join. We now have 15 members, so that is cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, everybody enjoy your night. We will see you tomorrow if you're a member. We'll see you on Thursday for the last Thursday night stream of the year. If you're not, and
for the general public.
Hey, if we don't see you guys before kickoff on Thursday, enjoy the first week of fantasy football, man. Enjoy the first game of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And if anybody wants the Wednesday and Thursday streams that we offer during the season, practice squad level membership, details are in the first link in the description of this video. 99 cents a month. You get 2 extra streams with us throughout the season. Everybody have a good night. We'll see the members tomorrow, and we will see everybody on Thursday ahead of Bills Rams.
Peace, y'all.